Hi, I'm Lisa Brenninkmeyer with Walking with Purpose, and this is Truth with Handles, scripture applied to your everyday life. St. Paul tells us in 1 Corinthians 14:33 that God is not a God of disorder, but of peace. Peace. That is what we all want. We want it most of all in our hearts, and I don't know about you, but I find it easier to have interior peace when I'm not surrounded by external chaos. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to get practical, and I'm going to share with you some of the things that I have found to help keep my home in order. And the first thing is to conquer the clutter. Marla Silly has written a wonderful book called Sink Reflections, and in it, she describes clutter as too much in too small a place. And this may have happened because your family's grown, but your house hasn't, or maybe you've just been buying too much stuff and it's just been gathering. What we tend to do when we sense we've got too much clutter is we try to organize it. So we buy big plastic bins, storage boxes, and baskets. But the truth of the matter is, you can't organize clutter. Silly goes on to write, clutter is things that do not bring you joy, you do not love, or you don't need. And too many things that you don't love or need can actually make you feel negative and dragged down. And her advice for bringing order out of the chaos of clutter is to get it out of your door. She insists you cannot organize clutter, you can only get rid of it. So at my house, when we go through and we gather up clutter and we bag it, we try to take it to the car immediately. Because if it's left in a corner, my kids tend to get back into the bag and the items get spread all over the house again. Or the bag just sits there and it gathers dust. Now, when my house starts to look as if nobody puts anything where it belongs, I call out this 20 item pickup. And the kids have learned that this means that they each need to pick up 20 items that are not in the correct place and put them where they need to go. And I'm absolutely amazed at how quickly things look better. And the kids don't complain because there is a clear start and finish to this project. So this brings up kids and chores, right? And none of us want to be raising kids who are spoiled. We all want our families to work together with everyone pitching in. And I don't know about you, but I've tried to keep charts on the fridge with stickers for jobs well done, but I found that I never kept up with them well. So I came up with a different system, which the kids can use independently of me, and I can quickly check with a glance. And it's a binder that is filled with plastic sheets that are for business cards that I can print out. And what I've done is I've made a section for each child, and each child has a series of cards, a series of sheets that come under different headings. So I've got before school, after school, before bed, and weekly chores. And at the beginning of the day, the cards are all facing up with the various things that I need them to do. And as the day goes on, as each task is completed, what they do is the child takes the card and turns it over, which means that with a quick glance, I can see if the cards are all blank, meaning that the jobs are done, or if some remain. And then I turn the cards back each night before bed and leave the binder out for the next day. And this has worked really well so that I can just at a glance make sure we're getting everything done when it needs to get done. But even with this system, bedrooms are sometimes left in a bad state. And I can't ignore an unmade bed. It just drives me crazy all day. So I used to go and clean up the bedrooms, getting madder by the minute. And a tactic I've used in the past, which kept my irritation at bay, it taught my kids a lesson, and kept the house looking reasonably picked up, was offering maid service. So I sat the kids down and I told them that as an extra job, I was offering my services as a maid. And if they required maid service, they could hire me, but I was very expensive. I clean up a bedroom for $10 and my price goes up if it's a really big mess. This is a lot of money to my kids. And so on a day when I would clean up one of their bedrooms, they wouldn't ask me to do it. I would just do it because it was bugging me. I would then pick them up from school and say, oh, thanks for hiring me today. You received some excellent maid service from me, and I was really glad to earn the extra money. And they could either pay me cash, which of course was always painful, or I just took it out of their bank account. And I got the clean room without feeling that I was enabling laziness in my kids, and my kids started cleaning up their own rooms a lot more quickly. Now, the last thing I want to mention is the dinner dilemma. So in order to avoid wasting time trying to figure out meals at the very last minute and going to the grocery store more often than necessary, I've developed 4 weeks of menu plans. And this process was time-consuming for the first month, but the months that followed were way easier. So what I did is I planned my menu for the first week and put it all out on the computer. I laid out what we were going to have for breakfast, what we were going to have for dinner, But at the same time, I made a corresponding grocery list and put that on the computer as well. So I did this for 4 weeks without ever repeating any of the meals. And what that meant is that following month, the month after I did this, I was just able to print out my grocery list on Saturday. And in fact, in my home organizer here, I not only have the kids' jobs, but I also have all the menu plans. And then in a pocketed envelope here, I've got all the grocery lists. What I can do is I pull out the list, cross off what I've got in the pantry, and do the shopping for the week ahead. And this has saved me a ton of time. So I hope this is helpful. And if you want more quick tips and truth from Scripture to apply to your daily life, be sure to hit the subscribe button below.